Chapter What? What you're about to read is terribly violent. Fair warning. She hit Bruce Campbell in the face with a baseball bat. The young lady didn't feel bad, of course, because it wasn't really Bruce Campbell. As she watched the plastine, flesh-like visage of the actor slide off and promptly plop down to the floor, the young woman assumed the real actor must be safe in bed somewhere in Hollywood. Must be nice. After relieving the celebrity imposter android of its mask, the inner workings were revealed. Bizarre, luminescent crimson and indigo wiring glowed in a tangled mess. More? She asked. She knocked the remaining head off of the famous robot, turning to check on her friend. Moriki, also known locally as Mor, was busy reloading her shotgun. "Leslie, we got incoming!" Her tiny, belingered, drinking BFF yelled. The cute Asian girl blew away Tyra Banks and Jet Black. Les jumped due to the instant thunder and sudden shattering glass right in her living room. Damn it! Les hated hearing the formality of her full name. It meant things were serious. What the F? Phil Collins, Mor pointed. Les turned to see the lead singer of Genesis rounding the corner from her bathroom. Les swung with all of her might, and Phil Collins's head flew from its robotic perch. The wandering, stumpy, headless robot discharged slimy, violet and ochre liquid, followed by hot, crackling snaps and sparks. Finally it slammed, lifeless, to Les's floor. Mor had reloaded, and as she stared outside through the shattered windows, unbelievable. Les rushed to her side. What now? It's Chumbawamba. Indeed, all members of the 90s one-hit wonder band were now making their way up the driveway towards Les's home. Les ran for the garage. We're going. We are totally going now. Mor cut up. Let's get to the fire department. Maybe we can call the cops. Les jumped to her Jeep, started it up, muttering, "Come on, come on, come on," at the garage door, which decided then to take abnormally long in opening. Mor glanced in the rearview mirror at the cast of Saved by the Bell, which greeted them. Les slammed the Jeep into reverse, plowing over Screech, and then she spewed gravel down the road as the Jeep escaped into darkness. Dozens of stars watched silently as their intended victims vanished. Chapter When? When the 2020s hit us all, many believed it was the end of the world. It wasn't. There was the economic crisis, and of course tension in the Middle East, and there was the con man in charge of the most powerful country in the world. Then there was the virus. Truly, with great conviction, a great portion of the populace thought, this is it. But, as previously stated, it wasn't. We changed. We eased the tension in the oil fields of Iran and Iraq. We found a way to stimulate profit via job growth. We got voted in a new leader, and we created a vaccine. Humanity persevered. It was then, on this random night in the middle of the roaring 2020s, that the invasion began. So obviously, Les and Mor were oblivious, as it was New Year's, and what with the fireworks and the drunkenness, it took the partying young BFFs some considerable time before A, actually recognized Neil deGrasse Tyson on their doorstep, and B, realized it wasn't really Neil deGrasse Tyson. The astrophysicist android imposter had tried to hug Les, and then Les realized the celebrity impersonator was made of rubber tubing and alien electronics. It took a swinging baseball bat and sparking the crackling before the scientist was down for the count. Okay. Les turned to Mor. What the living hell is happening? Mor stared down at the cyborg scientist celebrity, noting the vicious purple and green fluid sliding out of its neck. Was this dude a robot? As if in answer, Les looked at her door to see the New Year's night filled not only with fireworks, but also a wave of androids wearing the faces of stars. In the back row were Hendrix, Joplin, Elvis, Coblin, and several other musicians. There was Belushi and Farley and Kristen Wiig and Daniel Tosh, leading the charge with Stephen Hawking powering ahead in his wheelchair. Mor's eyebrows collided. We're being invaded? Les finished her champagne. Obviously, those special brownies we ate earlier have kicked in. We're hallucinating all of this. But she handed Mor a gun, a shotgun, just in case. Chapter Where? Look at the picture of the planet Earth. Now zoom in. Find the North American continent. Zoom in further. Eventually, you'll get to approximately the geographic center of the United States in North America. Keep zooming. You'll see a state above Arkansas perched like a dunce cap, and that state is called Missouri. Zoom in further, and you'll see the center of the state, slightly off to the side of St. Louis, is a tiny town called Dittmer. This is, apparently, where the aliens, or robots, or rival nations had decided to start their invasion in the middle of the night, on New Year's Eve. Mor nervously stared over at Les. Are they aliens, or robots, or... Les pounded further on the acceleration pedal. I don't know. Why the hell are you asking me? Ammo? Mor looked around in the darkened Jeep. Les popped open the glove compartment, revealing a box of shells for Mor's shotgun. Jesus! Les's drinking buddy began dutifully reloading. They drove 5 miles up Highway 30 to Cedar Hill to find the town in complete chaos. The strip mall was on fire, Dollar General, Save-A-Lot, the pizza place, all ablaze. Les was stunned. She drove around the residences of Cedar Hill, and the tiny town was completely vacant of anyone. Unfortunately, so was the fire department. It was, ironically, on fire. Aside from occasionally seeing Jay Leno or Queen Latifah by the flames, there was no normal humans left. Mor sighed. Let's find a place to stop and think, somewhere empty. Maybe these celebrity androids won't find us for a minute. Les drove the Jeep through the main thoroughfare to the abandoned pawn shop. Originally, the overhead letters read Cedar Hill Pawn, but it had been decrepit for so long that the only letters which remained were Hi. Mor blew the bolt off the door with her shotgun, and it slowly creaked open. Les followed her in and immediately began searching for a radio or a phone or something to get word to the outside world. Nothing. She felt a fool then, because this place had been shuttered for so long. Why the hell would there be a police scanner or a phone or even electricity? This may have been a bad idea. Les stared outside at the few stars that had noticed and were gaining in number. That was when Mor found it, a bomb. Holy... Is it like a nuke or... I don't know, Mor said, gazing at the Mandarin instruction panel on the side. Les continued. Or like an atom bomb or a hydrogen. Don't know, Mor said again. Well, the damn thing has Chinese writing on it. Let's... Mor clenched her fist. What does that have to do with anything? Les didn't seem to hear her. Wait. Let's set it up, start the countdown. Mor was incredulous. Start the countdown? Have you lost your mind? Why? Chapter Why? Why not? Les shrugged. You're Chinese, right? I mean, you can interpret. I speak English, Mor yelled. The only reason I can make sense of any of this crap is because Nana made me take a year of Mandarin. Fine, whatever. Les's eyes widened. Find something that says arm or detonate or something. Mor pointed down at the mass of buttons indicating a single yellow switch. How about start? After glancing outside and estimating they had about 30 seconds before the celebrities arrived, Les hurriedly stared down at the single red Chinese symbol on the amber button. Have to be good enough. Now come on. We've got Mitch McConnell and Melissa McCarthy with tie irons headed our way. Mor pressed the switch, and an antique display read out, prompted in crimson, 5 minutes, 4:59, 4:58. Les yanked Mor up from her seated position and dragged the tiny Asian American with her outside. Fauci and Leno and Latifah joined with yet more celebrities. Travolta and Clooney and Chappelle led Buster Rhymes and the entire Wu-Tang Clan, backed with the cast of Beverly Hillbillies, all drawing near to the pawn shop. Once again, the pair of drinking pals sped away, and Les got the Jeep up to 90 on the abandoned Highway 30. They made it to House Springs when the explosion occurred. Les parked the Jeep on top of the immense mountain. She stepped out, gazing, thunderstruck at the sight. Miles and miles away, Cedar Hill was detonating. They watched a small cloud of devastation from a safe distance as the mushroom expanded, enveloped, and then presumably annihilated the robot army. The stars were vanquished. Celebrity androids defeated. Les and Mor viewed the fireworks in the night sky as they headed for safe harbor in St. Louis. Chapter 1? Bullshit, the last patron stated. He stood and tossed his cigarette into his drink. But entertaining. Les watched the man put on a trench coat, drop a $50 bill on the counter, and walk out into the ghostly, foggy night. 1:59 a.m. Les sighed and pocketed the cash. She wiped down the bar, sneezing from the excess smoke in the drinking establishment. After turning off the lights and counting down the till, Les herself locked up and disappeared into the hazy, murky, amber evening. Later, she was upstairs in her flat. She absently turned on her antiquated television and debated the lonely boredom about to overtake the night. She poured a soda into a glass and opened a pint of vodka. Les didn't drink much, but on a night like this... Les disregarded the soda and took a long, searching swig from the vodka. Ugh. The young woman stood, walking to her window when she noticed the faces from the TV. They were all staring at her. No, Les thought, must be my imagination. So she grabbed the remote and made sure it wasn't muted. Then, as the hair on the back of her neck stood on end, she noted that every channel she turned to was silently staring at her. Ryan Williams on MSNBC, Red Fox on Sanford and Son, the cast of MASH. Les blinked rapidly as she shakily lit a joint. She didn't smoke pot much, even though it was legal, but on a night like this, anything to escape. Standing once more, she ignored Vin Diesel as he quietly followed her movements from Bloodshot, and Les spun her TV to face the wall. Enough! The disquieted young woman walked once more to the window. She stared upward, hopefully at the diamond-strewn black velvet of the heavens. Endless infinity offered some solace. Then there were the darkening fronts. The oncoming storm obscured the night sky as violent and cobalt clouds threatened suddenly from overhead. Slowly, Les watched the endless cosmos disappear, replaced with thunder and lightning. Les wondered if she would ever see the stars again. The end.